Uh, Yesterday, I told you about financial management. Now, the same chapter is there because it is a lengthy chapter, so it will take some time to be completed and to be revised. Uh, so, at first, I will give you the meaning of financial management. Financial management is an important concept of business which helps the management to get the financial support from outside of the organization, as well as it helps in utilizing the fund take place in the organization. As we know that there are different mediums are available in the economy through that the fund can be collected by the businessman to perform all the financial activities in the organization, and also it helps in distributing the funds in the organization among the different departments. That is why the companies are using the financial management in a best possible manner to carry out all the financial activities in a smooth manner. So the today's topic is capital structure and the numerical related to the capital structure. Capital structure represents the ratio between debt and equity, and it is an important concept which helps the management to identify that how much fund the company have to use from his own pocket and how much fund the company has to get from the outsources in the form of debt. So the ratio should be maintained by the company, then only the business activities can be performed in a best possible manner. Otherwise the business activity will not be performed in a better way. That is why I told you many of time about the capital structure, its meaning, its importance. We discussed about all the things which comes under the capital structure. Now today again one numerical is there, but in which three conditions are there. So today we will discuss about the numerical of capital structure. So in which total capital is given 90 lakh rupees. Debt capital for company A. Generally there are three companies are given. In debt for company A is 40 lakh rupees, debt for company B is 50 lakh rupees, and debt for company C is not given. It is nil. That's mean in which all equity is used by the company, in which the company is not getting the financial support from the outsources. So interest rate is 10% per annum, tax rate is 30% per annum, EBIT is given 60 lakh rupees, face value is 10 rupees per share, and we have to calculate EPS of all three companies. We have to calculate ROI of all three companies also. So the method is same. We should I just solve so given the solution of company A, and on the basis of this you can calculate the ROI and EPS of rest of the companies. So at first we should know about the calculation of company A, in which the EBIT is 60 lakh rupees. EBIT is 60 lakh rupees, and from EBIT at first we have to deduct the interest, that is 10%, and interest always imposed over the debt. So the debt capital is 40 lakh for the company A. So we have to deduct 4 lakh from 60 lakh, then it will become 5 lakh 56 lakh. Then it will be known as earning before tax, EBT. It is known as EBT. It is 56 lakh, and after that we have to deduct tax from 56 lakh. So it will be 16 lakh 80,000 rupees. So ultimately, if we deduct 56 lakh of 16 lakh 80,000 from 56 lakh, then it will become 39 lakh 20,000. So it will be EAT, earning after tax. Or if we are going to calculate EPS, then we have to use this formula. EPS can be calculated by EAT upon number of shares. So EAT is there, but we have to find out the number of shares. So the formula of number of shares, finding out number of shares is equity capital upon face value. But the equity capital is also not given over here. So we have to calculate the equity capital. So equity capital can be calculated by deducting total capital from debt capital. So it will be 90 lakh minus 40 lakh, it will be 50 lakh rupees. So equity capital will be 50 lakh rupees, and if we are going to find out the number of shares, then we have to divide number of shares by face value. So it will be 5 lakh rupees. So the number of shares will be 5 lakh. So after that we can easily calculate EPS. So the EPS is 39 lakh 20,000 upon 5 lakh. So it will be 7.84 rupees per share. So the value of EPS is 7.84. After that, one more thing we have to calculate, it is ROI. ROI is EBIT upon total capital. That's mean earning before interest and taxes upon total capital into 100. Now, because we have to do the 100 to calculate the percentage. So after that 60 lakh upon 90 lakh into 100, so it will become 66.6%. So it is all about the solution for company A. We have to do the calculation for the company B just like this only, because debt capital is also given over here. Okay, you just take the screenshot of it. Okay students, it is all about A, in condition C, debt is not given. So what will we do in this condition? We have to write about EBIT over here 60 lakh, but we cannot deduct 10% interest because debt is not given over here. So EBT will be 60 lakh only. EBT will be 60 lakh only, because debt is not given over here. And after that we have to calculate tax over it, so it will become 18 lakh. We have to deduct 18 lakh from 60 lakh, then it will become 52 lakh. Then EAT will be 52 lakh, because one thing is different. If debt is given, then we have to calculate the interest. If debt is not given, then we cannot deduct the interest from the EBIT or from EBT, from EBIT also. So that we can say there is only one difference is there in company A, company B and company C. In company A we have to deduct the interest from 40 lakh. In company B we have to deduct the interest from 50 lakh. But in company C we cannot deduct interest because of this condition, because of this particular condition. We cannot deduct the interest. So after that all the things will be going on in the same direction. Okay, so it will be 60 lakh, or the same formulas will be applied over there, or like that the question may be carry on. If the interest is, if the debt capital is not given, then the tax will impose over the EBIT. If debt capital is given, then EBIT interest will be deducted from EBIT. This is the main difference between the question in which the debt is given, in which the debt is not given. So this thing you have to keep in mind. Otherwise you have to learn these formulas to calculate the questions, because I have given some of the questions in the PDF also, and you should try to solve the question at home. And if you have any query related to any of formula, any of thing related to this question, you may ask your queries clearly to me, and I suggest you to watch the video again and again to know about this numerical properly, because this numerical is very important for your syllabus and for the board examination also. So you should keep in mind that you should watch the video again and again to know about it properly. And I suggest you to watch the video, and whenever you face any type of problem in solving this type of numerical, you can directly contact me by my personal WhatsApp number. You can send your questions on my personal WhatsApp number. I will try to solve it, and I will send you back after solving the question. So you should try to do the questions, because this type of questions have the weightage of 6 marks in the board examination, and this type of question came many times in the board examination, in which the board examiner has given certain conditions, and the students has to find out the EPS and ROI of all the conditions, and they find out that which capital structure is suitable for the company. If EPS is more, then the capital structure will be more suitable for him, like 7.84 is coming in this situation. If more EPS will come in other conditions, then the more EPS will be considered as a suitable conditions for the capital structure. So students, if you have any query, you can ask. So it's enough for today. Have a nice day.